Generally, with Buddhist Tantra, we always say that the text is correct, the literature is always right, and paintings and visual depictions are secondary. But it's not always that simple. If we look at the deity Hevajra, then we have very specific types and forms of Hevajra which are generally acknowledged and known. So out of the main Hevajra Tantra of two parts, we have the four forms of Hevajra. We have the one-faced two-armed, one-faced four-armed, three-faced six-armed, and then the eight-faced 16-armed. Okay, that's fine. That's established. And we have the literature for it. We have commentarial traditions in India. And we have a lot of art, painting and sculpture in the Himalayan regions and Tibet. But what we don't often realize is that there's not just one system of explanation. There can be several different systems, and normally within the Sakya tradition they might talk about the Hevajra coming down from Virupa, or in the Marpa Kagyu system they're talking about the Hevajra coming down through Naropa and the siddhas and teachers prior to Naropa. In the Jonang, it might be following possibly the Marpa Kagyu or often the Sakya Virupa system. But there are other traditions. First of all, with painting and sculpture, we have this iconographic difference that is immediately apparent, and that is Hevajra with the 8 faces and 16 arms standing on the 2 right legs with the 2 left legs drawn up. And then we have sculpture and paintings where he has a right leg and a left leg standing on the ground and a right leg and a left leg raised up in a type of dancing posture. So right away we have a difference in iconography that is not explained by the Tantra itself, and not generally discussed in the commentaries, Indian commentarial literature, but we do find it in the Tibetan commentarial literature. So the posture where the 2 right legs are pressing on the ground and the 2 left legs are raised in a dancing position, this is not traditional to the Hevajra Tantra, to the literature. This is said to be the oral tradition of the Mahasiddha Virupa. Okay, so right away that's a difference. So the depiction with a right and a left leg foot down and a right and a left foot up, because remember Hevajra has 4 legs. So that tradition of a right and a left down and a right and a left raised, then that is considered the Guluk, the Tantra tradition coming out of the literature. But we have variations. We have other paintings. Aside from the 4 forms of Hevajra taught in the Hevajra Root Tantra, and aside from the Panchadaka taught in the Vajrapanjara, which is commonly found in art as well, this is where you have 5 forms of Hevajra all manifested within a single mandala in the center and then the 4 directions. Then from the Samputa Tantra we have the Hevajra that holds weapons. So now we're up to 6 different forms, and these are all basically tantra based. This is the Hevajra, the Vajrapanjara, and the Vajrasamputa Tantra. But we have other traditions. We have traditions coming down from Durjaya Chandra. We have traditions coming down from Padmavajra, and we have different interpretations. So luckily we have a painting that shows some of these differences. And the painting has as its central manifestation of Hevajra is the Hevajra according to the oral tradition of Virupa, where he is standing on the 2 right legs with the 2 left legs raised in a dancing position. That's the main form. But in the upper left corner, we find an 8-faced 16-armed Hevajra, but the faces are stacked. The faces are stacked for the main face and three other faces in the four directions. Above that, three, and above that, one. This is very unusual. Also, the form of Hevajra is wearing a tiger skin around the waist. So this is an unusual form that we don't typically see. Now, at the upper right side of the composition, we have a one-faced, two-armed form of Hevajra embracing a consort, and the consort is standing on the right leg. The female consort typically stands on the left leg, not on the right, and also both Hevajra and the consort are standing on a skull cup. On top of a corpse, on top of a lotus seat. Again, unusual, not easily explained from the three main tantras that describe Hevajra. Other tantras that describe Hevajra I am not really that familiar with, so don't know. I don't know the source for these other than variations of explanation based on the original three tantras. I don't know. Now, in the lower, towards the lower, about halfway down, 3/4 of the way down on the right side, then we have another form of Hevajra, where the images look more like a form of Chakrasamvara rather than a Hevajra, although it does have the requisite number of faces and arms. Then we have at the bottom right-hand side, we have a solitary form. Appears to be three faces, six arms. Not sure how to understand that figure. So the point here is that there's many different ways that Hevajra can be explained and taught, but generally in art we only really follow the Sakya tradition coming down through Virupa, the traditional Tantra tradition also coming down through Sakya, the traditions of Hevajra coming down through Marpa. These are really the main ones. There are some minor initiation traditions such as the Vajravali and the Mitra Yogan traditions, but we also have these very unusual forms of Hevajra that sometimes, but rarely, show up in art, where we have Hevajra with stacked faces, or the deity standing on alternate legs, or the consorts not in the right position. And but luckily with this painting, we know that these are alternate traditions rather than artists' mistakes, because at the top of the composition we have one of the Mahasiddhas is named. The inscription can be read as Durjaya Chandra, and he is known as being one of the main commentators on the different systems of Hevajra.